Hey you guys, Andrea Cox here. Goodness, how are you guys doing? How are you enjoying this energy? I think the energy went from really kind of just mundane, semi-dark for some people, especially for water signs, to really light. And I think it's sticking around for years to come. Let's hope, right? Those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. I am Andrea Cox, the Detox Intuitive, thedetoxintuitive.com. Just realized my hair is an absolute mess. I'm an intuitive healer and a detox specialist by trade. I have a second channel here on YouTube called Andrea Cox TV. So if you've subscribed to this channel, thank you so much. And you guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but as long as I see the subscribers go up, I will continue with the channel. So it's been a little bit stagnant for a little bit. So we've been at like 16,200 for a while now. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you could subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Also, hop on over and check out my plant-based, my detox channel, Andrea Cox TV. I'm actually really well known in the health and detox movement, and I want to share something really positive with all of you today. So, you know, I'm a triple water sign, Pisces, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, Scorpio, rising. Cancer is in the 4th house, so I have Cancer in my house of actual home. So I really like to plant my roots and stay and make a house a home, etc. And I have been learning a lot about my chart aspects and why certain times of the year I need to really go within and do internal work. I've got a Mars in a specific house in my chart that just once a year can be a little bit off-putting. So I've been doing more research into that, and also really looking at, you know, I think from time to time we can all lose ourselves in life, so to speak. We can lose ourselves in a relationship. We can lose ourselves in a job. We can lose ourselves in being a mother and taking care of our children. We can lose ourselves in taking care of a parent who's ill or who is aging. We can lose ourselves when we lose a partner, like knock on wood, to death or something. And I've been doing a lot of introspection, and being a Pisces, I can tend to lose myself when I fall in love. So one of my dear clients, she's actually one of my favorite clients. If you're watching, we are doing the call tomorrow. You know who you are. She asked me the other day, she said, why aren't you in a relationship? And I thought about that because I could be. And I said to her, you know, for most of my life, I was in a committed monogamous relationship, an 11-year relationship, a 5-year relationship. I've been engaged 3 times, and I built a home with someone. So I've really been looking at where my strengths are, and the person who I see as a great spiritual leader, I'm going somewhere with this, by the way, Queen of Cups Tarot, that's plural, Queen of Cups Tarot. She always says that, you know, if you go for long periods of time in between relationships without being in a relationship, it doesn't mean you're bad at relationships. It could mean that you're really good at relationships. So God, the universe, your ancestors send people that you are there to help, or they're there to help you, what have you. So I was doing a lot of introspection, and Pisces can tend to fall into victim mode a little too much. And I'm really over victim mode. And it's something that I don't put up with my clients, with the clients I coach in health, and with the clients I coach through their spirituality and relationships. It's something that I call people out on, and I noticed it in myself. I recognized that I had talked about, I don't even want to say the word, the HACKING on my websites for an extended period of time. I realized that I had talked about, I think talking about pain heals others. But I realized that as a Pisces and as a triple water sign, let's just face it, my whole chart is practically water. I realized that I can get stuck in a mindset of victimhood and, pity party. And it's something I do not put up with. When I see it in clients and I call them out, they are so incredibly grateful. So yesterday I set a plan in motion, and I put that plan in motion today. And I have to tell you guys, please don't forget who you are. You are a master manifester. You can create, we each have the innate ability to create whatever we want in this lifetime. There's a public speaker, he has no arms and legs. I do not know his name. Mucho respect for him though. Excellent public speaker. I've seen him talk, but I'm horrible with names. And no arms and legs, and he's a major manifester, multimillionaire, just really, really, has dated some really great people, etc. And I always think of him, like I think of his story when I think, gosh, wow. If he is constantly staying in a positive vibration, and look, none of us are going to always stay in a positive vibration all the time. None of us. Especially if we're really empathic and we feel other people's emotions on a deep level. But if that man can stay in a positive vibration, no arms, no legs, just his voice to express himself, I better quit making any excuses in life. And so, seeing what I created for myself, sorry you guys, hasn't been brushed in a day or two. Today, just by really visualizing yesterday is a very powerful tool. Visualization is powerful. Also, stopping and thinking before I spew something out of my mouth. And that's been that's not been something I always did, spewing things out of my mouth. How should I say this? How do I explain this in a way? I'll just be completely upfront with you. A lot of times, if we get hurt, we can come from a real place of ego, right? We get wounded, we come from a place of ego. I see it in myself. I've seen it in family members. I've seen it in friends. I've seen it in partners. You're with someone one day and they're really loving, and then the next day they walk in all kind of macho, and I've seen it myself a lot, and it's something I actually don't admire at all, and I'm very aware of. And so lately, just thinking before I speak, because another thing I don't want to do is to hush my voice box because I think I'll upset someone else. Freedom of speech, it's one of our rights, right? As a United States citizen. So there's a fine line and a fine balance to that. And I'm realizing that there are some people in life that, when you do speak, and you are a speaker, and you're a public speaker, you've got a YouTube channel or what have you, that if they know you, they will automatically think things are related to them, etc. Right? So cognizant of that. Also, I can't tell you the number of times I'll do a Cancer reading or a Virgo reading or a Aries reading, and one of my Aries clients will be like, oh my God, was that about me? And I'm like, no, I was just doing a general reading. There's thousands of people watching. So I'm trying to be more aware of that, but also trying to be, uninhibited as well at the same time. Now, this is what it's brought me to. And today on the community channel, I posted that I'm going to stop doing private readings on November 1st. So If you, until further notice, maybe 3 months, maybe 5 months. But if you go to the detoxintuitive.com, click on spiritual gifts and offerings, choose your reading, and I'll get in touch with you and we'll schedule you. I just had a great reading with a male client of mine that was one of my first readings I did, and his improvement has been vast, like vast. Like I was shocked. At any rate, and I looked at the clock over there, it says 12:21. When we were talking, it said 11:11, and I screenshot it for him. It's not right. I don't have it set. At any rate, here's what I've come to a very discerning, positive decision about. And it's positive for me and it's positive for my clients. I think that my gifts are best shared in really like 5 areas. Of course, health and detox will always be my number one passion because I'm like a walking encyclopedia. It rolls off my tongue. I know the ins and outs of everything from juicing to raw vegan food to herbs to colon hydrotherapy to, you know, massage to sound heal. Like I know it. I also know that I'm really good at helping men open up to women when they're living in a place of fear. Because I've been that woman who has put a man in fear not to open up. And I've also been that woman to get a man to open up. I also know I have a gift of teaching women what not to do. And I have that gift because I've done what not to do. I've made those mistakes and I've learned from those mistakes. It's one thing to make those mistakes and to repeat them and repeat them and repeat them. It's a whole nother dynamic. If you actually learn, you recognize it and you're like, oh, okay, I was an asshole. That's a whole nother piece that I'm finding that I am helping women go from dire straits, man is ghosting them, to engagement ring. So what I'm going to do is, I've always coached people in health and wellness, but the past 4 months I've been taking on clients to coach them in their love life. We put a lot of health in it too, because our issues live in our tissues. And if a woman is eating poorly, her hormones are out of whack, her whole system is screwed up, right? So we start with that, and then we work through that, and then we work on the response, you know, how to respond to a man when, you know, you guys have plans and he doesn't show up, or he texts you some lame excuse, what not to do, when to respond, etc. And it's not, so, you know, a man could watch this and be like, well, that's manipulation. When to respond? Well, yeah, you know, yeah. When someone's not kind to you, you're not going to respond sometimes. Sometimes they need to show up at the door. So I'm very good at this. And I shared the other day a text message from a client who got engaged after like having like just fallout, breakup after breakup. She was definitely in a cycle with her partner. So if you are interested in that, you can reach out to me. I will put a link to my direct email. I'm also going to have a form put on the Detox Intuitive. There is a form on Andrea Cox, but that's for all my health stuff. And I want to encourage you not to forget who you are, because at the end of the day, I love the Tarot. I am going to continue to do monthly readings. But the Tarot can confuse people. You know, the cards have several different meanings for each card. And I get some women on the phone, and men who are straight up crazy because they listen to it day in and day out and they're confused. They're like, well, you know, my husband's a Pisces, so he's a King of Cups, and there's a Queen of Wands at his office, and blah, blah, blah. And that's not me because no, it doesn't work that way. And to try to explain that and to articulate that to you guys is so damn difficult. And people get so darn confused, you know. Temperance is not Sagittarius. It can be patience. It can be someone who's practicing their craft. It can be several things, you know. The King of Pentacles can be a male or a female. The moon does not have to be a Pisces or a Cancer. It can be secrets. It can be what's hidden. It can be, you know, I did a reading earlier and a man is very much in his emotions, a Cancerian. And Cancerian men can, water sign men can go very deep with their emotions, but all signs can. And the moon kept coming out for him. And what it represented to me was not him as a Cancerian male. It was him really being in his emotions about something that's ending in his life. And so I feel personally a personal responsibility to all of you. It's little Lewis drinking his water, to really own that the tarot can be very confusing. And when you're going through heavy stuff, the last thing I want to do is just cause more and more and more confusion in your life. Because I've had it done to me. It had me at a very low point in my life. And I don't want to do that to anyone else. So I see my gifts very clearly. And as of like November 1st, private readings for my repeat clients, yeah, but on the very low. Like I'm just, for me, there's a personal responsibility and I see where my gifts are best utilized. And that is working with men, working with women, and getting their health in order, and then taking them to the next level on how to clearly communicate, but not just how to clearly communicate and when, you know, really not to respond, when to let go of a situation, but also what not to do, because I've been there. And I think coming from a space of having such a great clientele with good results, and also having gone through an almost 11-year relationship, right? At a very young age, having built a house with someone, having been engaged 3 times, and then recognizing my own fears, right? Recognizing my own fears and why for a long time, you know, I struggled with, you know, certain issues, commitment issues, always thinking there was someone better out there, etc. And then also helping women not to jump the gun, so to speak, when a man says something, or just because she's been hurt 10,000 times, not to hurt others. Because everything I just said, I've done. I've like made those mistakes over and over and over and over, and infinity. I've done that. And there's just been a month in my life where I had a lot of sleep, and I think that was desperately needed, like 10 hours, 11 hours of sleep every single night. And I think I slept off a lot of stuff. And I do feel that we do face karmic consequences when we do keep secrets from others, especially our marital partners. I was sharing that with my client tonight, and he's definitely stepping up and choosing, you know, choosing when to use his voice box, and he's so in his feelings, and my heart just like bleeds for him. Like I wanted to give him a virtual hug through the phone. But I also feel that we carry our parents' ancestral karma and our ancestors' ancestral karma. And I know a lot about that. And I know how to work through that because I've worked through my own ancestral karma financially, big time. Like that is like one of the hardest things to get through. One of the hardest mountains to climb is ancestral karma, especially financially. And also in the relationship department, like codependency and things like that. It's huge, right? It's a huge thing that all of us suffer through at some time in our life, especially us women, but also men in over giving, right? You should be able to give because it makes you happy. but over giving, right? Where it's not deserved and things like that. And then, you know, the feminine becoming lazy and what have you. So there's a lot in there, and I'm really good and I see my gifts. And so I am going to offer you where I think I am strongest at, where my strength is clearest, where I see visible results in clients immediately, where they're like, oh my God, he like came back. Like, oh my God, like he went away, then he came back an hour later. Like, and yeah, because you didn't go off and you did, you know, like I see the mistakes I've made, and I really feel like there's a few gifts that all of you could utilize. So on that note, I am not going to pull any cards today. I am really going to come back on tomorrow and finish the readings for November, and I will still consistently do readings. In fact, I think I should actually gain more subscribers, because I'm going to consistently do the readings without asking, you know, from you guys, you know, oh, you know, private readings go here. I just, honestly, it's not where my heart is. My heart is to help you heal your heart and move past your ancestral karma so you can be free flowing like Lewis, who uses his voice box often. All right? Okay, thank you so much. I'll put my email below. I'll still put all the links up and stuff, because until November, probably into the first week of November, I'm still doing readings. I have the dates up in the community section of this channel where you can see what dates are open. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you so much for honoring me on this journey, little good juju for us all, and for being patient with me as I really discovered where my gifts lie. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Be well. Bye.